What's cracking, Loud Pack crew? Welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we were at I forgot where we were, but it's a trail somewhere along the Cache Creek area, kind of near the Clear Lake area in California. If you're following along in the journey, this was after our hike over at the Highland Reservoir. The gang is all fed up. They had a nap. It was still pretty warm out, but we decided to just take them out on a trail, on a hike anyway, because they only get so many summers. So whenever we go out and we're away for a bit, we just try to get as much exploring in as we can, even if it's just like a short, structured walk like this one. We did not plan for it to be this hot. I mean, overall, the boys held up pretty good. You'll see Lockhart is like really glued to me throughout the trip. He's like following me around instead of really exploring, doing his usual thing. He's expecting me to throw the ball that I don't have. It's something that we're working on with him, just kind of building on his independence, getting him to use his nose more. Just kind of take a look at the area, you guys. Just nice and vast, lots of open space for them to roam around and explore. Tall grass, lots of little critters chirping, a whole brand new environment. A good reason why I feel like our boys don't run away from us is we satisfy their need for wanderlust. Certain dogs, mostly northern breeds and female dogs, have this wanderlust that they need satisfied. And we're always taking our boys out adventuring and exploring, so I feel like that's one of the ways that they get their needs fulfilled in that aspect. This is kind of what an average hike will look like for us. Just minimum rules, just for the most part, stay close or within eyesight, or they know not to interact with other people or dogs. And whenever it's free range like this, they don't need to ask for permission to go and hunt after smaller prey. They know to just get after it. Whereas on structured walks, we'll have them, they'll make eye contact before engaging in any kind of hunting or chasing after prey.
Go, Bubby, go. Bubby, go. No ball, Bubs, go.
Now, none of my boys have been rattlesnake, they haven't gone through the deterrent training just yet. After the incident in this video, we sought out a trainer. A lot of the trainers wanted us to go through full obedience packages beforehand, and I think that's ridiculous. As you guys know, if you've been following along here, our dogs are tip-top trained, fully off-leash trained, fully leash trained. We've gone through all the training. All I really need is a snake, and I can train them to, leave snakes alone on my own. I just need a snake and a handler. I don't really need them to go through a full-on obedience course. Now, I'm not going to talk your guys' ears off throughout the entire video. You'll notice we got some really cool angles going on here. We got the camera on Chief. I have the camera going. Ava's got some camera work going. I'll catch up with you guys in a bit here in the video. Right? Now you'll notice on these off-leash adventure walks, it's a little different speed than our normal walks, where I'm usually like playing fetch with the shepherds. Whenever it's like super hot like this, I don't recommend playing fetch in between on these walks, because the boys can pass out from heat stroke, and it just kind of wears them out a lot quicker. And the main objective of this is to get them to just use their brains more, kind of sniff around, chase after stuff here and there. We don't want too much, physical cardio activity whenever it's this hot out. You guys are gonna have to forgive all the Bigfoot breathing between the heat and this being the second walk of the day. Man, my ass was kicked by now, guys. I was just pushing through though. We've been on this fitness journey so far. We're 40 pounds down. Got a long way to go, but I'm sure if we keep at this pace, it'll go by a lot sooner than we think. Now, it's very important that if you're going to have your dogs off leash, that they check in frequently, that, they're not ignoring you. They're not oblivious to where you are as the handler or owner. You see how the boys are running on up ahead, but they keep stopping and checking back for us. That's what you want your dog to do, is be constantly checking it. Especially on narrow pathways where you don't know if it's another person coming, another dog, whatever it may be. And these trails with the tall grass that's real narrow, they're tricky because, especially when it's hot and you don't have a lot on, like you're not fully covered up. So like a lot of the pokies and the little spikes will kind of get you on the side. So you just gotta, gotta pick a lesser of two evils. Either be really super hot or, be exposed and get poked by a bunch of stuff. A really big one with tall grass and heat like this, like I've said before, is snakes. And normally my eyes are always on the ground looking out for snakes. I'm usually the guy that either move them out of the way or kind of avoid, or kind of maneuver the pack around them. You saw Ava and I switch cameras here. The one time I'm looking down to adjust the camera, this happens. Oh shit! Here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. This way. Here.
Solo, here.
Solo.
Here. Let's go.
Let's go, Bubba.
Is Blue okay?
Let me see. I think so.
Blue, you okay? No, Blue. Let's go.
Leave it.
We're out.
Let's go.
Leave.
Let's go.
We're leaving.
Let's go this way.
Let's go.
Oh shit, dude, there were no signs.
No, there weren't. Keep your eyes open.
Oh my god, my heart sank. All I saw was it just shaking. Okay.
Let's go. Keep moving. So by now we're moving at a different changing pace. It's a little less freedom, a little more tight knit. I still want to keep Solo close. My heart was pounding, adrenaline was running. I know that the snake's not chasing after us, but that was just the kind of vibe that we had. I was worried about how many snakes did we miss on the way in. You heard Ava say that there was no signs, no warnings. It didn't rattle until after it tried to strike at Blue. Luckily, Blue had gotten out of there before before any contact was made. Normally on these trails like this, there's rattlesnake warnings, just heads up and things like that. But there was nothing on this trail, and it just kind of goes. It's just one of those things that you have to know, like especially dealing with these warmer trails in California or any of your designated area. Do research on your areas. And just always assume that there is going to be a snake, especially in these like heated conditions. It was very textbook. It's the middle of the day. That was a shaded area for him to hide under. What was interesting though, when we ran the footage back for Chief actually went over and marked the tree that the snake was under. So he kind of peed on the snake beforehand. And so we just got very lucky. Like any of that could have gone south. You have to always keep your eyes peeled, which I normally do, but you see the moment I looked away to adjust the camera on my backpack, opportunity knocks. So you guys just got to stay vigilant. If you can, get the rattlesnake deterrent training, especially with how like Solo runs ahead here and he'll check in and let us know people are coming. I'd love for him to have that rattlesnake deterrent training to be able to let us know like, hey, there's a snake up ahead. Once we do find a trainer, or once we do find a snake handler for that, I will try to record it so that way you guys can see what the rattlesnake deterrent training looks like. So we took a moment to catch our breath and just kind of go over what just happened. I took the opportunity to check Blue again. We made the decision to walk around a little bit longer. There was supposed to be like a watering hole around here, and we figured it'd be just what the gang needed, especially in this heat. We were looking for something more laid back anyway. We weren't out of the woods yet. We had a lot of tall grass areas that we were gonna have to go through. It was still the middle of the day, scorching hot, so we just had to keep our eyes peeled. Like I said, we were moving at a different pace. Everybody was staying a lot close knit together. We do still allow them to explore a little bit at their pace, but we don't allow them to go too far off. We just didn't want to risk any chances. Like, if there's one rattlesnake, what are the odds of there being another? Honestly, I don't know, but there could be another one out here. The watering hole was going to be over on our right-hand side where those trees are. So unfortunately, that meant not too much shade, and the gang was just going to have to walk in direct heat. For the most part, everybody was doing just fine. Everybody's double coated up. The only one that I'm usually really worried about is Kai. He is smaller, and he does tend to get winded a little quicker. For the most part, he holds up just fine, and he knows to slow things down whenever he's really tired. But it's still good to keep an eye on him and keep him hydrated, keep him from overexerting himself.
got you, Chief.
As we got closer to the trees, we realized the watering hole would be a little further than we thought. We also could hear a lot of voices coming from the other side. And sometimes people can act a little funny about, a pack of dogs pulling up at a watering hole or whatever. Besides, we were starving. We decided to head home and throw some burgers on the grill. We fed the boys earlier and forgot to feed ourselves, so we decided it'd be best to call it a day. Plus, like I said before, we didn't want to overexert the gang. It was really hot out here, and you don't want to overdo it on these hot days. You really don't want to take any risk. Just because your dog can withstand the heat doesn't mean that they should. It's always better to just, play these things safe, because it's very hard to bring your dog back from heat stroke. One thing I had to do before we left was check the trailhead. I wanted to see if there was any warnings, any signs of rattlesnakes, or anything like that around. I figured there'd be signs over at the gazebo. There wasn't a whole lot of information at the trailhead, so we decided to head over to the gazebo and see if there was anything there. So we got to the gazebo, and they did have all these little information pamphlets up, but it was just information on the area and, some of the basic creatures that were in the area, some of the basic animals. No rattlesnake warnings. I'll tell you what we did see, though. Large wasp nests. These were all wasp nests under the gazebo. There's about 4 or 5 of them. And we recently discovered that Kai is allergic to bees, so we decided to call it and head home. Yo, back at the Airbnb, we decided to throw down on some burgers, stuffed patties with cheese, onions, and some bacon strips for us. And for the boys, they just had like regular plain Jane burgers. Sometimes we'll, spoil them a little bit and give them a little bit of cheese on their burgers, but you don't want to do too much. Obviously, you don't want to season their burgers up. I'm not going to go into too much detail on our secret recipe as far as the burgers go. This isn't a cooking channel. I don't want to bore you guys too much. But yeah, afterwards, we kind of, decided to just kind of lay back and take things a little bit slower. We knew we wanted to take things easy and get some rest for our hike tomorrow at Clear Lake. That is all for today, you guys. We will catch you guys on the next one. As always, we appreciate you watching. See you later, Loud Pack.